The 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup began in familiar surroundings in Shanghai, China in May. This imposing waterfront setting saw the top two women in the world go head-to-head for gold, with Sara Lopez of Colombia emerging on top. Denmark's world number one, Stefan Hansen, won the men's competition. To Europe and another regular location on tour, the Turkish resort of Antalya in June. Hundreds of archers began the week, but in the women's event, the beachfront shootout went the way of Denmark's Sara Sonicsen. Despite his win, Cheng Xiangxuan didn't claim enough points to make it to Rome. Next, Salt Lake City. In the shadow of the Eastern Archery Center, there was glory for Andrea Marcos of Spain and defending World Cup champion Mike Schlosser, who took the gold in a dramatic one-arrow shoot-off against Hansen. Our final stage was Berlin, another debut host city and another victory for Sonicsen, newly installed as the world number one. The men's event provided an upset. Sheer determination and stylish shooting from Turkey's Demir Elmaagacli gave him the gold medal. And so to Rome, Italy's capital city, the centre of an ancient empire, the venue for the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup final. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Estadio del Marmi in Rome. It's Saturday, the 2nd of September, and this is compound finals day of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup. My name's Stephen George, your commentator for live and uninterrupted coverage of all the matches this afternoon. It's a lovely 25 degrees here. The sun is out, the wind is low, and set fair for some great archery this afternoon. This morning we saw Lopez take the women's individual title and Denmark win the mixed team event. Now we have the quarterfinals of the men's competition coming up at 3 o'clock, followed directly by the semi-finals and finals, and about to enter the field of play. The top 7 archers in the world right now, plus an Italian archer here to represent the host nation. So we'll look at the world rankings, and Stefan Hansen, the world champion, on top in position number 1, closely followed by Steve Anderson, making his first World Cup final appearance. Gellenthien of the USA, the 2012 World Cup champion. Mike Schlosser, the defending champion. Demir Elmaagacli of the 2015 World Cup champion. Rio Wild not here because the USA already have their 2 spots. Pierre-Julien Deloche, the 2014 runner-up. Andreas Darum, in his first World Cup final appearance, and Federico Pagnoni here as the host nation's representative. Also alongside me in the commentary box is Rod Menzer, the 2008 World Field Champion for the USA and acting CEO of USA Archery. Rod, looking at the draw and the first match, Darum versus Anderson, who do you pick?
Well, I got to pick Steve, but again, in this final, everybody's earned the right to be here. Anybody can win this, but I got to root for Steve on this one.
Of course you do, but as you say, I mean, 4 of these men have been number 1 in the world at various times, including Hansen, who's number 1 right now. Anderson, 3 in the world is his top ranking. But here's Andreas Darum, ranked 25 in the world, Denmark's second male archer in this top 8, coached by the very experienced Martin Damsbo there, giving him a round of applause.
Yeah, you couldn't have a better coach than what he has right there.
I wonder if the archers are enjoying this escort they're getting to the field of play. From the we had gladiators this morning and Roman centurions, but Steve Anderson looking like he's taking it all in his massive stride as usual.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but Steve was a very accomplished 400-meter runner in his college days, in high school days.
400 meters.
400 meters.
It's big for that kind of event. If you'd said shot put or something, I might have agreed with you. But ranked 4 in the world right now, and looking to go deep in this tournament in his debut appearance, our line judge Andres Herigus, who will take charge of all the matches this afternoon, and it will be Darum, the lower ranked of the 2 archers, who will shoot first on target number 1.
Should be a good match, the very first one of the afternoon, and there's going to be a little extra nerves just for that alone.
Yeah, absolutely. we were talking before about the opportunities to practice and find your range on the shooting line here, and there haven't been too many, so this will be a real test these first few arrows, won't it?
It will. You really want that 10 on that first arrow.
Oh, and there it is.
There it is. Excellent shot.
Andersen in the goal with his first arrow, not bad, but he'll hope for better with the next.
Ooh,
And that's a loose up one from Darum.
You know, the wind has been kind of swirling down here, and it's been making it a little challenging for some of the archers.
The shooting line's quite shielded, isn't it?
Exactly.
Whereas you can see the flags on top of the targets are being tugged by the wind, so it's more windy at the target end, isn't it?
Exactly. The wind flag is over on the right, and there are times when it's blowing straight away, and like right now, it's actually coming towards the archers. So it is swirling a little bit, and you know, it causes a little issue. Steve needs to make a little sight adjustment probably there.
So Darum opens up with 26, although as you'll see on the scoreboard, his second arrow there, registering as a 7, but maybe upgraded to an 8. And Andersen of the USA, strong start, 28 points for him. So potentially a 2-point lead could be cut to a single point, but he'll be glad with those opening 3 arrows, won't he?
Yeah, you just want to get those through and get a little bit of the nerves out of you, so your bow arm can calm down a little bit, you know, and you can start shooting a little better.
So indoors, Andersen's had a successful season, hasn't he? He was the silver medalist in the Indoor World Cup in Vegas in February. So you know, for him to find himself on the World Cup stage for the first time outdoors, that's a big achievement.
It really is. He's been shooting so good all year. I mean, he did that at the World Cup indoor, actually using Mikey Schlosser's arrows. So he just borrowed some arrows because he forgot his at home, and then he took second. It's amazing.
It's one of the first things you pack, isn't it?
Sometimes you think so.
It's not uncommon, though, for archers to share equipment and get themselves out of a hole. I mean, I've seen archers shoot with opponents' bows before now when you've had equipment failures in finals.
It's an amazing thing when you, in the archery community, I mean, it doesn't matter what country you're in, if somebody has a problem, if you've got something that somebody else needs, you just hand it over and they just go ahead and shoot with your stuff. So it's pretty awesome. Those are some nice shots right there.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 10s for Darum, recovering a little bit, finding his rhythm. 47 for him so far. So now we're down to the same score for each archer.
And I know the guys, and talking with Mel Nichols just before this started, he was telling me that they were shooting a little bit on the left side of the 10 over on the practice range, and you can see that's where Steve's hitting right now, so that's what he was kind of set it in for. That was a nice shot to finish.
Yeah, he's happy, so they've maintained that 1-point advantage.
Yeah, those are some solid 29s, so they're definitely getting into the roll of this, and this is going to be a good one.
Am I looking at a little Mr. and Mrs. combination there as well?
Yeah, and Linda has done fantastic, you know, this year too, so they've had a good influence on each other, shall we say. But it's nice when you have somebody in your box, you know, shooting, you know, as the coach, that just keeps you calm. Someone that's familiar to you, and you know, it's just kind of walking back there and helps calm you down.
Both of these archers have got great coaches behind them this afternoon. Just to tell you about the rules very quickly, in the individual event, a match is played over 5 ends. Each arrow has there's 3 arrows in each end. The maximum you can score with an arrow is a 10, as you've seen. So there's a maximum of 150 points available. After each end, the scores are totaled up, and the archer with the lowest score shoots first in the next end. At the end of 5 ends, the archer with the highest total score wins. Simple. So Darum behind by 1 after the first 6 arrows, looking to build here against Andersen of the USA.
Yep.
Nice.
A 9 for Anderson.
Yeah.
Shakes his head a little. We can feel the gust of wind coming in through the commentary position there, actually.
Yeah, you can see that flag's picked up just a little bit there for the archers.
So it's square now at 75. Yeah. So an opportunity for Darum, but he can't take it. And actually, he might have opened the door a little bit for Anderson.
Yeah. He's pretty surprised about it when I've seen him turn around and kind of give the I have no idea why that is there look to his coach.
Finishing up with a 10, Steve Anderson, so he extends his lead by a point. You can see the perspiration just rolling down the side of his face there as he was holding that shot. It's 25, the thermometer says, but it feels hotter.
I guarantee you that's almost boiling point for those guys down there. You know, it's so funny because sometimes you get in these high pressure situations and your body's feeling it, your mind's feeling it, your heart rate's racing, but then when you draw back, your borearm is steady as can be. And then other times it goes all the way through your borearm and you're shaking and it's hard to even execute a shot. So, you know, it really depends on how it affects you today.
So Darum ranked only 25 in the world, and he hasn't had a podium this year, and he just pipped Chen Xiangshuan to qualification. So he's squeaked in. So maybe he's got a free pass, really, hasn't he? He's not perhaps under so much pressure as Anderson.
Well, I don't think anybody, you know, have the same expectations from folks, but again, you made it in here. You're good. You're very good. Just a little low for Steve there.
Is there a temptation, even with your feet shooting well, to fiddle?
You'll see.
Just leave it where it is.
Yeah, you'll see some archers that are always clicking their sight. You know, it might just be one little click and it doesn't really move it all that much on the target. But they will always be one way or the other after every arrow.
Lopez is a demon for
yeah,
that.
she is. She definitely does that almost every arrow.
Still, it works out fine for her in the end. So
yeah, there you go.
So
that looked like a 10 there.
Yeah, only a point dropped with those 3 arrows for Darum, 112, solid. But Anderson now looking to build a lead.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Another 10 for him, 114 points. So 2 points the advantage. I can't really see from our vantage point whether that first arrow is going to get upgraded from a 9 to a 10. For those of you who don't watch archery all that often, if the arrow is on the line, it's the higher value that is scored. We'll wait to see whether that converts into a 10 and a 3-point lead for Anderson.
What we've seen in the women's matches, 3-point lead sometimes seems like it's a lot, but in this format, this venue, no. I think the only lead that you'd be comfortable with is if you had 11 points going with 1 arrow left, and that's it. Otherwise, you know, we saw where, you know, a 2 or 3-point lead in the last end can evaporate like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One little gust of wind and changes everything.
So both archers looking to try and cheat themselves into thinking they're just shooting in the backyard right now.
He's looking good and confident.
Yeah. Away it goes.
Good shot. Yeah. Good shot.
Down to the final 3 arrows for each archer in this match.
Steve needs to try and keep pace.
He does.
Yeah.
Leads down to 1 though. Nothing to panic about yet, but proof that it's going to be close. And that's wild.
Yeah, he's pretty disappointed there.
Yeah. The 9 from Anderson gave him a bit of hope, but he couldn't convert that arrow. And there's a 10 for Steve Anderson. Leads back to 3.
He did what a veteran does, is you get an opening, you try and take advantage.
So a 7-2 win for the big cat. Down it goes. It's a 9. And Andersen takes the match. His best individual finish on the World Cup circuit this year was silver in Antalya, but this will edge him closer to World Cup glory here in Rome. It's a debut win for Steve Andersen. He's through to the semi-finals, where his opponent will be either Pierre-Julien Deloche of France or his countryman Braden Gellenthien.
Yeah, Steve will not be happy with exactly how he shot that time, but he's going to he learned from it. I guarantee he'll be ready in the next one. So it's good to get this one under his belt, and he'll go over to practice range and get himself squared away.
So straight back on the range to practice for him. Then is that common? They won't let any time pass without shooting a few more arrows.
Yeah, they're just going to keep going and try and work out the little bugs and the nerves that they had, and try and get a good feel for a really solid shot, and so that way you can kind of get things grooved before he comes back in here again. Sometimes you get up there in the nerves and the shots just don't quite feel right, so we get back over the practice range if you get a chance and you can get it ironed out.
So an early exit for Andreas Darum of Denmark, and you can see what it means to go through to the next round for Steve Andersen.
Yeah, the big cat.
So is USA Archery in good shape right now? You've got another shooter just about to come out onto the field of play. You've got the world champs coming up. Everything running smoothly?
Yeah, it is. We've got a very nice team going to the World Championships, and you know, things are going well, very well. We've got some young shooters coming up too, and you'll see some new faces at the World Championships, and that's nice. It's nice to see. Good mix of veterans and young folks, rookies, shall we say. So
the judge and coaches walk onto the field of play for our second men's individual quarterfinal. There's Andrea Marcos of Spain. And Sarah Prius of Belgium, both in action this morning. Knocked out early on, but it was a fantastic competition for the women. But now it's all about the men. A slightly surreal sight of Braden Gellenthien walking onto the field of play, accompanied by a couple of ancient Roman dignitaries.
Yeah, Braden coming into, going into Berlin and coming into this event has been working real hard, and his shots, he's been telling me his shot is just really coming along. He's real pleased with how he's shooting right now. Really, really happy.
So representing the USA, Braden Gellenthien, ranked number 5 in the world at the moment, has been a number 1 ranked archer. His 6th appearance at World Cup finals, the winner in 2012 in Tokyo. He's pulled a medal out of the bag with every appearance. And this one's got a bit of a classic feel to it, actually. I think both these archers you're about to see have been world number 1 in their time. Both are coming back into form at just the right time. Very evenly matched. Between them, they have 65 World Cup stage appearances and 59 medals.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And Pierre-Julien Deloche of France acknowledges the crowd, shooting on target number 2. The Frenchman ranked number 14 in the world, on the comeback trail, you'd say, and there is no way I'm going to try and predict the outcome of this match. No way.
No, they're, PJ's been here, Braden's been here. This is going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to it. Nice, Braden has his dad in the back there coaching for him. His number 1 fan.
That's a nice thing. There's a family feel to the USA coaching approach, which I quite like, because it saves on fees, doesn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Right. That's a solid start for him right there. That's what you're looking to do. That way you have total confidence in your sight, mark, and you're good to go. You don't need to have that doubt,
Deloche with a 10, right on the line.
Sometimes you get something like that, and then you're wondering if you need to move your side or not. And, so it's nice to start out pretty middle.
Shot.
Looks good. Looks calm. There's a veteran's face for you right there.
Yeah, absolutely. At the start of the season, he confessed that he didn't think that this was a possibility, but now he's here. He's not going to pass it up.
No, there. That's it. Yeah.
That's a kind of dispiriting sight for your opponent, isn't it? A grouping like that.
Yeah, and when Braden gets on a streak like that, he gets fired up, and it only makes him shoot better and better. So it's
So a 10 for Deloche with his third arrow, and likely to find his first arrow upgraded as well. So just a point between the two archers, and neither of them will want to let the other get away by more than a point or two, will they?
No, these two guys, if you've got more than a couple points, oh boy, you're in trouble. But I think PJ will settle down even more here, and his grouping will tighten up. And Braden will just try and stay focused and keep executing shots. So.
The crowd watching intently here in the shade, and that's a good place to be in the temperatures that we've got at the moment. And it will be Deloche who's behind by 2.
Yeah, that arrow did not get upgraded.
That's why we have the judges, isn't it?
Exactly.
So Deloche, who took a mixed team bronze in Salt Lake and Antalya on the World Cup circuit this year, has found the 10. Gellenthien loses it and finds a 9.
A little gusty wind there.
Yeah. Another 10.
He's just focused and calm. Brain's got work to do, keep him at bay. You can see that wind is picked up. You can see how he's moving him around there.
Another 9 for Braden, shaking his head.
Yeah, I think it's just the wind right there. He just was probably happy to get something in the gold. Timing sometimes is everything, you know, when the wind's blowing, when it's not. There's a beautiful grouping.
Yeah. For a non-contact sport, it's surprisingly aggressive, isn't it?
It is.
USA. It's like, there you go, my friend. What do you got?
Yep. And we're all tied up.
It's the alternate shooting really is like watching boxers trading a punch, isn't it? Especially with these two, who you know are capable of pretty much anything.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they clean it out from here and have a shoot-off. You know, they're just that type of shooters.
Yeah. We were lucky enough to see a couple of shoot-offs this morning, and at the very least we were getting down to the final end where the scores were level, and it was sort of best of 3. There's something of the McEnroe about Gellenthien, isn't there?
Yeah, you know,
in a good way.
Yeah, you know, he never tries to be disrespectful, that's for sure. But he's a shooter who definitely shoots with emotion and passion. And when he's got it going and he makes a great shot, it pumps him up and fires him up to where he just he shows it.
Yeah, it's great to see. Great to see the passion. That's what the crowd really react to as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
back in the 10 now.
Yeah. He looked good on that shot. Really good timing. Looked real confident. PJ's found his groove.
Yeah, he has. He's using a long hold too, isn't he? He's taking almost all of his 20 seconds each time. fifth straight 10.
He's looking solid. That's a brave one to do to get.
Yeah, there's pressure now on Deloche, even though he might not feel it acutely. A 10 will be what's needed to stay level. Oh, he finds it.
Yeah, they're shooting good.
So, I mean, look how even it is. Apart from the first 2 9s from Deloche, everything else in the 10, 3 X's, 2 9s in the second end for Gellenthien, everything else in the 10, 2 X's for him.
Yeah, this is a great match. Great match.
So 6 arrows left for each archer, 88 points each. Gellenthien will shoot first again. Sometimes that's an advantage, isn't it? Because you're building rather than chasing.
Yeah, he likes to shoot first. Again, he's an aggressive shooter, and he likes to just to get that off and to try and put pressure on his competition. So, but PJ doesn't seem to be feeling much of it right now. He looks really, really confident.
So this match for a place in the semi-finals, and Anderson awaits. Can Gellenthien make it an all-USA semi? 9 for him. Looked like that wasn't as comfortable as he'd like.
It was a little longer than I think he'd like, for whatever reason. Wind, aim, just not getting his release to fire.
Deloche again with another long hold.
Yeah. So now it's been reversed. So now the pressure is truly on Braden. I expect him to do well though here, come back nicely.
Yeah, and he does.
Talking to himself.
Is that what helps him let go of that shot and move on?
Yep, yep. Usually by the time he gets back to full draw, it's out of his mind.
Yeah. Another 10 for Deloche. Still a point ahead. And that's an important arrow to find the centre with for Gellenthien.
Yes.
Couldn't afford to let Deloche get further away. So a bit of pressure back now here on the Frenchman. A 10 will maintain his 1-point lead, and it's a 9.
Yeah, you could definitely see a little bit of movement in his bow and in his body in that one compared to the few arrows before that. And I think it was just, he knew that all he needed was a 10 and he was going to have the lead finally.
So you said right at the beginning, Rod, 117 points each, only 3 arrows left.
Yeah. Let's see a couple 30s here and close to the center shoot off.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, because that would show that the two of them were really pushing each other right to the limit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they both disagree with me, though. They like to just win it outright.
For sure. Right and if you were one of those archers, actually, Deloche's tie-break record is significantly less good than Gellenthien, actually. So if you were going to put your house on someone in a shoot-off, if we get there, you'd favour the USA archer. But they don't play on paper.
Yeah. No.
You're doing a very good job of keeping calm, Rod, by the way. I know you're kind of shooting every arrow here.
Yeah, I'm screaming inside, trust me.
All right, so here we go. Last 3 arrows. So tense, this match. 9 for Gellenthien. Not the start he wanted.
No. See if PJ takes advantage of that. No, he didn't like it. No.
Couple of clicks on the sight. Gellenthien finds the 10. Right.
Well, here's...
He didn't like that at all.
So now Braden knows he's got his chance right here.
Yeah.
You'll see emotion from him if he shoots.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
There you go. Right there. It's a big screen. See? That's Braden.
Absolutely.
Yep. Love it. And the
And a 9 in the end for Pierre-Julien Deloche. Not enough. A very narrow victory for Braden Gellenthien. A 6th Hyundai Archery World Cup final appearance for him, and he's off and running here in Rome. The Tokyo 2012 was his last World Cup title. Can he end a 5-year wait? Braden Gellenthien of the USA is through to the semi-finals of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup.
Well, that was exciting.
Certainly
a little
was
nerve-wracking,
yeah,
but it was exciting. And again, Braden's not going to be happy with how he shot either. And but he'll calm down, and I expect better things. It's going to be a great match, him and Steve. It's too bad they got to shoot each other next.
Yep, an all-USA semi-final as the archers leave the field of play. You can see some slow motion action from the match. Pierre-Julien Deloche looking back to his best, but not quite enough. 2 points the margin of defeat to Braden Gellenthien. And there is the man. You can see, as you say, a bit of dissatisfaction at his own performance. But the determination is right there, isn't it?
Absolutely. These guys know they're never satisfied, and that's what puts them in this match, into this event, is they're never satisfied, always driving to be better. So you get into something like this, you're expecting yourself to shoot really, really well. If you don't shoot to your expectations, whether you win or lose, you're not pleased, and you're going to go back and you're going to focus and try and get to where you know you can be.
So we're going to go into the other half of the men's draw now and look at two archers who are very impressive at the moment. A Turkish archer who took down the world #1 to take gold in the last stage in Berlin, and a Dutchman who did the same thing in Salt Lake City and is out to defend his World Cup title. So again, I'm very excited to see this match, actually, and at the quarter-final stage to see such top archers is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and when you look at Mikey Schlosser and you think, oh, here's a veteran. Well, not really. He's still very young. So you got two young, up-and-coming guys that are going to be here for a long time, and this should be a fun match. Yeah,
Schlosser at 23, actually younger than the Turkish archer, just taking the field of play here. As he walks the shooting line, we'll introduce you to him properly. There he is, arms folded in that characteristic pose that he has. Demir Elmaagacli of Turkey, ranked #3 in the world this year. And the manner in which he took down Hansen in Denmark was pretty impressive, actually, wasn't it?
It was. I don't think anybody saw that coming, but boy, he really shot well.
He certainly did. But he's up against the man they call Mr. Perfect, and with good reason too. Walking onto the field of play now in the bright orange of the Netherlands. He's the defending champion, and he's in good shape as well. It's the Dutchman Mike Schlosser on target #2. And ranked #2 in the world this year as well. Winning 70% of his matches, and when you get into the 70% mark, you know that you're doing something right.
Yeah, and again, when you're shooting somebody like that you just cannot give him much of a lead or you're in trouble. So, there's no question that Demir is going to have a little bit more pressure on him in this match to start. We'll see, but again, what he did with Stefan Hansen in Berlin didn't matter. He just shot great.
So it will be Schlosser, the Dutchman, on target 2 to begin.
Very fast shooter, somebody that likes to to shoot quickly. That's a start. Missed a perfect with almost a perfect arrow.
Elmaagacli not quite so near the center, but still a 10.
That's all that matters. Mikey's looking good right here. There you go, keeping pace.
Yeah, both these guys will know that Gellenthien and Anderson are through. Both of those archers capable of shooting 150s in match play. So it's about sending a signal, actually, isn't it, that you're ready?
It is. No question about it. You know, if you can get out there and set a pace, makes guys think. Outstanding.
The crowd enjoying those first 6 arrows of the match. Everything in the 10, 30 points for both archers. Such a great TV sport, archery, isn't it? Yeah, it's all about the close-ups of the archers' faces, like you see there, and then the results 50 meters away, and the tiny margins that TV is so good at showing you.
You know, TV makes it look so easy. Yeah, I guarantee you, they're feeling it. Their bodies are inside or moving, and you know the wind is there, and you don't always see all of that on TV, but you know you see that end arrow. But boy, sometimes you get an earthquake in your body as you're aiming. These guys looking good though.
And another one finds the same hole that he found with the first arrow.
And you see the timing difference. You know, Mikey is really, really fast on his shot, and we're just a lot longer shot process. He's up there at full draw a lot longer, you know, 2-3 times longer.
Over the course of the match, then, would that cumulatively make a difference, maybe to your muscles or to the way you shoot?
I think so, and I think actually shooting fast, especially when you have breeze and you know when you've got some wind and stuff, really can help you. You know, in a sense, you get the arrow shot before the wind could have a chance to pick up or gust and blow you off. But you know, it's also just that rhythm. It just you don't give your you just go. You don't think as much. Sometimes at full draw, you think too much. Ooh, there's something that you don't expect from Mike.
And a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, here's a chance
from the coach at the back there. And yeah. Oh, and he
took
too.
advantage of it.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, from almost nothing, a 2-point lead.
Yeah, now the pressure switched. It's all momentum like any other sport. You got momentum that can definitely play on the nerves of your competitor.
Mike Schlosser, the defending champion, so a title to protect creates its own narrative in your head, I'm sure. But what I'm interested with Elmaagacli is he's been very, very close to winning the matches that he's lost this season. There's been a point here or there, or a shoot-off here and there. Let's not forget that he's the 2015 world champion, so World Cup champion. So he does have a win under his belt in these conditions, and so no one's going to be underestimating him. And
no, they've seen how well he's been shooting coming into here, and he's not he can't sneak up on anybody right now, that's for sure.
So a slight concern here for Schlosser, giving away 2 points so far.
Yeah,
he needs 3 10s.
The wind has switched now. It's going towards the target. Before it was actually coming towards the archers. I'm sure the wind, you can see him kind of looking at his coach and trying to figure out what to do there. You can see his bow moving a little bit more in the wind too.
Yeah, not suffering quite so much from that though.
No. Gained 2 more points. That's quite big.
Back in the X for Schlosser. takes him to 74. A slight worried expression on his face.
Sağlamdır. Sağlamdır. Evet. Bravo. Güzel.
Another 9 for Elmaagacli.
That's a good way to follow up your first arrow.
Aferin sana. Bravo. 9, 8.
Turkish archer looking to press home his advantage, and he does. 3 points now. So after 3 ends, we're on a 3-point lead for the Turkish archer, and that's quite a platform now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a little bit to climb on someone shooting well. But again, you just never know. You don't expect Mikey to shoot an 8.
No, but
it happens. So anything can happen. A gust of wind, or all you got to do is go up there and put your arrows in the middle and see what happens.
4 of Schlosser's 6 10s have been X's, so he knows where the centre of the target is. And you saw 2 of those were pretty much right on the button, and that makes the 9, the 8, and the 7 that make up his scores so far all the more difficult to explain, doesn't it?
Right. Absolutely. Almost half of the arrows of Demir have also been X's, so he's really. It looked like a pretty good shot. I think he's a little surprised at that one. Yeah, he's looking comfortable right now.
Yeah,
looking good.
Like he's going to let up, does he?
Yeah.
And it's all falling apart a little bit for Mike Schlosser here.
Yeah.
He's capable of more. He knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And Elmaagacli will know that too, and won't be complacent.
Yeah. I expect him now, with the lead that he has here, to just keep filling up the middle. Pressure, in a sense, is off. He should be feeling pretty comfortable right now.
It's a nice phrase. Keep filling up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Just a 9 with that one, but still 5 points now, and we're into the final end. Well, oh dear me, the defending champion in a bit of trouble.
Yes, he is. 5 points. That's quite a hurdle, but anything can happen. But I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome that. Mears is looking just comfortable, relaxed, making really nice, solid shots.
Yeah, and Schlosser will shoot first in his final end, so he'll really need to start with a 10 and then keep maintaining that pressure and hope that, he's shot a couple of rogue shots himself. Elmaagacli yet to do that, so he's going to hope that there's a couple of rogue ones in the bag that haven't come out yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some nice shots right there.
So this is the 3rd of our quarterfinals. 1 more to go after this one, and another interesting match to come. But we're down to the last 3 arrows of this quarterfinal between Mike Schlosser of the Netherlands and Demir Elmaagacli of Turkey.
Mike Schlosser shoots first on target 2.
I mean, they came in here ranked, 4 and 5 for this event, so it's not like it's a huge upset or anything, but you expected it to be a little bit tighter. Still might be.
Yeah, that's the right shot to find for Schlosser. And a 9 from Elmaagacli, so the lead's cut by a point. That needed to be another 10, really.
Yeah, he really needed a 10 there. It was just a very long shot for him.
Aferin. Yes.
That was good. That was nice.
Budur işte koçum.
So his lead is 5. Final arrow at the match for Schlosser. He'll be looking to finish well. And he does a 10.
Son noktada
140
hiç acele
gives
etme.
Elmaagacli 6 to win.
Aferin sana.
That's pretty comfortable.
9, 8.
There you go. Nice 10 to finish.
And the defending champion is out. No back-to-back titles for Schlosser. Elmaagacli takes the match. He was Hyundai Archery World Cup champion in 2015 in Mexico City. This season he came from seemingly nowhere to win the 4th and final stage of the season, and now his opponents need to sit up and take notice. He's into the semi-finals here in Rome.
Outstanding. Nice surprising match, but boy, he shot good. He looked real calm and relaxed that whole time, too. He's confident.
He's just so determined. And he allowed himself a tiny bit of a smile at the end there, didn't he?
He sure did. A little arm pumps there right after his last arrow shot. Again, good to see that little bit of motion kind of coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Good weekend for Turkish archery so far. Yeşim Bostan with a bronze medal. A 3rd place here in Rome. So still,
It's
almost no movement, even under those slow-mo.
Yeah, I love these
visions.
slow-mo shots. I'm just sitting here watching and just enjoying those shots. You just don't realize all the movements everything has on that shot, how the arrow flexes and the bows are flexing. And you can see how big that last arrow was for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got his eye on a 2nd World Cup title, no mistake.
Yeah, be interesting. There's a little bit of Braden Gellenthien right there.
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
It was good. I like it.
So it's time for the last of our quarter-final matches. Who'll be the last archer through to the semis? Both archers appearing as individual World Cup finalists for the first time. One's the current world #1 and world champion, and the other, well, stand by for the home crowd to go crazy as they welcome one of their own. And Rod, this young archer, he's having an amazing
Career.
season, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. At 22, this is the only world title he's yet to win, which is pretty incredible. He's ranked #1 in the world. He's the defending world champion. Stefan Hansen of Denmark, averaging 9.83 with his arrows.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Big smile there. He's ready to go.
And here he is.
If you're a guy who likes to be fired up and shoot aggressively, crowds like this can just feed you.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about him to know what his style is, but I do know that Stefan Hansen, he is, again, one of those aggressive style shooters who does get fired up, shows his emotions.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be fun.
So Federico Pagnoni of Italy, he's 29, so older than Hansen, although a less decorated archer on the World Cup circuit. His world ranking at the moment is 47. He's here as the host nation's representative in these finals. And he'll be looking to push Hansen all the way here, if he can.
Important to start well. There you go. You can hear the crowd.
That won't bother Hansen at all, though. He's
No.
a very cool customer.
He'll feed off the same emotion. You know, he'll be like, yeah, okay. It's just his style.
And when he shot in Berlin and Elmaagacli took the match instead, there was a sense that the wheels had slightly come off Hansen's performance there. You know, he threw his equipment to the floor and was very, very frustrated with himself as much as anything else. So he isn't invincible by any means.
Nope. Nobody ever.
And that's a perfect start for Pagnoni.
That's what you do on home turf. It's a great start.
Oh, dead-eye from Hansen.
Following pace right here. Just staying on it.
Sure is. So 30 points for each archer. Maximum of 150 points available in the match. We haven't seen one of those so far today, although we've got close. We did wonder whether Deloche and Gellenthien would bring us that kind of match earlier on, but it wasn't quite to be. But Hansen's another one of those shooters who's capable of shooting a 150 in match plays.
Oh, no question. But again, with the wind being a little, shifty, I think it'd be hard to do a 150 today. It's not impossible, that's for sure. But I think if you're really on, a 150 today is a 148, 2 down, and that would be equivalent. But these guys, who knows? They can prove me wrong and both throw 150s down here. It could happen.
So it'll be Pagnoni again to get us underway on target number 2. And a 9 for him in the gold. Not quite the rapture from the crowd this time.
That was a great shot by him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great result, of course, with the arrow hits, but just looking at his shot, he looked so calm. His timing was great.
And Hansen, of course, shot on this target earlier on today in the mixed team, which, whilst not being an advantage necessarily, it will certainly mean that
it has a big advantage, I think, actually, because you really felt what it was like to stand there. So it's not unfamiliar territory.
So 3 9s for Pagnoni, 57. So a chance here for Hansen. 9 is good, 2 points to lead.
You can really see after Stefan shot that first 10 there, and Federico, he dropped that one. And the next arrow, you could if you watch Federico, you could just see the nerves a little bit more. It's like it added so much more pressure to him because now he knew he was behind in his home crowd, and you could just see it in his bone and his body, that little extra shake in his face. The pressure was definitely had gotten large. But you come back here and make a good match of this yet, so he's got the talent, that's for sure.
Other experts I've spoken to talk about leaving your bad shots behind, forgetting those, and just focusing on the next thing. But also they talk about trying to make your opponent think. You can just keep putting a bit of pressure on each time, force your opponent to wonder about what their next arrow may or may not be.
Yeah, no question. I mean, if you can, in something like this where, you got an announcer yelling the score and the crowd, there's no way to not know what's going on. So it's really hard to just kind of ignore and just focus on your own, you're hearing it and the score's down there and you're just paying attention to it all. Whether you try to block it out or not, it's right in your face. He looked solid there. That was good. See if Stefan can keep the pressure on here.
He does.
Excellent. Stærk, Stefan. Super spil.
Seems to be kind of getting in his groove. I think he'll be happy with a 9 on that one. Surprised him.
15. Yep, højst vejtid.
From Hansen. Do you think the wind is a tiny bit tougher on the arrows on target 2?
You know, it is possible because it's a little bit more open from the right side. But again, at 50 meters, and it's only at the very, very end. So I really don't see where it's going to be affecting the arrow down there. It's just really what's on your body and the aim. I don't think you're really going to get too much drift.
So 3 straight 10s for Hansen. Very comfortable now, and 4 points up on Pagnoni.
Yeah, and he's a shooter that now he's just going to get real comfortable and just, again, keep filling up the middle. I don't expect him to falter.
I mean, the crowd needs to play their part a little bit here, don't they, and try and lift Pagnoni if they can. I mean, he's capable of shooting 10s all afternoon long, that's for sure. We've seen that, but he needs his extra man here to start cheering for him.
Yeah, I put the smile back on, so hopefully he'll come out here and give the crowd something to cheer about.
So behind by 4. Quite a margin in matches like these, so needs to start finding some 10s regularly now.
That was a quick shot there.
The first, yeah.
15.
You just see the confidence that Stefan has right now in this match.
Yeah.
He's just looking really calm and relaxed.
It's cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. You know, when you get behind and you see him like that, you're in trouble.
X til venstre. Super, Stefan. Masser af tid derude.
So Pagnoni doing all he can, but he could find himself further behind now.
10.
There's just no answer to shooting like that, really.
Yeah, you see in his eyes, he's just like, okay, I got this.
Looking here, I think Stefan Hansen did get a job as a target pace tester.
Most guys who get a group like that, and they move their sight just slightly. He's good. He's just like, nah, I'm good.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you've got a real mix of archers still left in this competition, and you've got some experience there and also some youth. And both of those things can create an advantage for you. You know, your experience allows you to cope with the pressure. Maybe your youth means that you just don't feel it at all.
Yeah, sometimes the younger you are, the easier it is, because you just don't, you may or may not recognize the magnitude of what you're doing. And the longer you shoot, and the more of a veteran you become, the magnitude of that gets you.
Yeah, then you're shooting with your record, aren't
That's
you?
right.
Yeah.
That's right. You add additional pressure onto yourself because you feel everybody else's expectations instead of just worrying about yourself.
Pagnoni with a 10 there, but falling further behind to Hansen, who has this arrow and one more to come.
Got a
in this
little breezy here.
Where it goes,
Didn't matter.
Super.
Pagnoni wants to finish well. And
Yeah.
he does.
Nice
143, which would win you a match sometimes. But just 5 needed for Hansen.
Yeah.
What a way to finish. Hansen takes the match. The world #1 takes out the home hero. Hansen bagged the mixed team title this morning, and he's on course for the double here in Rome. He's just 2 matches away from a first World Cup title. Stefan Hansen of Denmark is through to the semi-finals.
That was outstanding shooting.
Outstanding, relaxed.
Yeah. I don't know how he did that. Just amazing. That was fun to watch.
So that sets up an interesting semi-final in the top half of the draw, because now we've got this rematch on between him and Elmaagacli of Turkey, which is the match that we saw in Berlin, where the Turkish archer just wouldn't let go.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So a chance for the archers to take a breather, just briefly for a minute or two before we get into the semi-finals. And so we will have Hansen versus Elmaagacli, so #5 versus #1 in that semi-final. And first up, we'll have the all-USA tie of Gellenthien and Anderson. So, Rod, do I need to provide you with some, like a cold drink or something like that, just to help you get through it?
Yeah. That would be helpful, no question about it.
Anderson and Gellenthien shot against each other for bronze in Berlin, didn't they? And there was a very good-humoured match, actually, even though it was the bronze that got Braden his spot here. He was very relaxed, and they were sort of laughing and joking, swapping coaches, boxes, and whatnot. But it's not going to be like that this time, is it?
No, but you know they are very familiar with each other, because again, not just on the World Cup circuit, but back at home, they're shooting against each other all the time. You know, and then they spend all this time together on the road, and it's that you're friends. You know, it just sometimes. You get into situations like this and it can be a total dogfight, and other times both shooters kind of, you know, I don't know, they just get, I don't know if it's a little extra nerves or something, but they don't necessarily shoot up to their capabilities. But I'm expecting this is just going to be a good one, good solid match that I'm going to be dying back here. Watching them shoot.
Well, there's how many nations would kill for both of their archers in a semi-final in a World Cup?
Absolutely, and again, we could have had 3, and I think that's an amazing thing, and these two guys are great champions, just spectacular archers. Steve is still learning this game, believe it or not. You know, he really hasn't been shooting that long. And Braden's been shooting for a long, long time and winning for a long, long time. So this is a great match.
So here we go again, men's semi-final. Braden Gellenthien of the USA. Another nonchalant wave to the crowd for the 5th-ranked archer in the world this year, former world #1. And the 2012 World Cup champion, 5 years since his last title. Will this be the year? This man's going to have something to say about it, though. Steve Anderson walking onto the field of play. Slowly, nonchalantly.
Representing the United States of America.
Again, having such a great year, winning outdoor events, indoor events, just podium after podium after podium. It's been amazing to watch. Been a great year. I'm sure they got dinner on this one too. Whoever
There'll be something else, won't there?
That's right. These two guys, yep, there you go. Teammates.
Maybe the extra leg room on the plane home or something like that.
It's good to see them go over and give each other the good old man hug there before the match started.
And they're teammates, aren't they? And,
Absolutely.
And they've achieved so much as a team this season, haven't they, the USA?
Yep. They have, and they shot really, really good, Berlin. And again, these guys are good friends.
Just going to press pause on that friendship for the next 10 or 12 minutes or so.
Yep, the friendship just left.
Anderson, first up.
Yeah, he looked good right there. He looked much calmer and confident on that shot compared to his first matches. All the arrows in his first match. Yeah, here we go.
Number 10.
Mm-hmm. When they got a chance to practice on this venue yesterday, I think they were, Braden shot like 48 arrows and missed 2. And Steve, I think, missed 3, but Steve missed the first one, and Braden was very keen to tell him that all night long. Well, you missed the first one, you know, because they kind of had that little side bet going.
Looking good. Yeah. As he did in the first match this afternoon, Gellenthien opening up with 30. And Dad there just offering him the odd word of advice.
Yeah, both of them are looking much more relaxed here, though. They're friends shooting against each other, wanting to win so bad, but yet just, I don't think they're feeling the same amount of pressure, that's for sure. Steve trying to stay awake, I think.
And your role as USA Archery, what do you say to these guys? You know, you're looking after them, I guess, but do you have a message for them when they go out?
I just told them to bring it, you know, have fun, bring it, and good luck. And so far, that's exactly what they're doing.
Okay, Anderson shooting first again on target number 2. The shadows start to lengthen here in Rome as the afternoon wears on. By the end of the afternoon, we'll have a new World Cup champion. And Anderson with that 10 intently focused on trying to make sure it's him, but this guy is in his way. And there's another 10 for Gellenthien.
And you can see from his arrow grouping there and the holes on the target, he is dead center as far as his sight mark and his aim. Steve's just a little bit low and to the right. No, except for that one, of course. Yeah, he's a little surprised on that one. He doesn't know what that was.
What will Gellenthien think of that? Will he even consider that 8? I mean, he will have seen it.
For him, yes, because again, he loves to know exactly where he's at and what's going on. So for him, that, to be honest, it'll probably make him relax a little bit more and become real, you know, relaxed pressure-wise, and just become more aggressive in his shot and just be like, yeah, I got this.
Another perfect 30, a 3-point advantage now. He hasn't exactly locked the door, but he's put the key in the lock, hasn't he?
Yeah, or he's about to. It's close. The next couple of arrows are going to determine whether the key's in the lock or not.
Yeah, you know, to be fair, I'm going to watch the metaphors. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This whole arena here, although we've put a modern stand around it, is an ancient sporting venue, and all the way around, sometimes you see the statues that they've got of various sporting heroes and sports represented. I haven't seen an archery one, but either of these two guys could model for that, couldn't they?
Yeah, there is one actually behind us by the entrance, so I did see one there.
Still as a statue.
He's looking good right there. That looked great. But you can see again, it's, with the exception of that one arrow, he's just hanging just on that right, which could be a little dangerous. Yeah, he didn't like that one.
No, it's his first 9 of the match, and quite wild compared to his other groups.
Yeah, he was talking to that one before it ever got there. So.
Here's Anderson coming right back.
Yeah, that's what Steve needed to do. Braden's still shaking his head there. It's getting a little long in a shot right there. Good.
Worth it. wing 10s.
Yeah, keeps that pressure on.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Cut the lead, 2 points now. What he needed to do.
Performance American archers here looking at Gellenthien shooting a near perfect score of 29 this time.
Mrs. Anderson there. A few words for Steve of encouragement and reassurance.
She's been shooting good this year too, so
Yeah, and a great prospect for her to have a home World Championships to look forward to as well. And as the USA goes, not too far to travel to Mexico City, so your team are going to be looking forward to some good finishes there too.
yeah, you know, won't have the jet lag because it's just it's like flying into the cross state somewhere. Yeah, so it's an easy flight for us, and I think they're going to enjoy that. Time zone changes is not too much, so they're.
I mean, travelling to Europe, even when you know you're on a big stage like this, is a big deal, and some archers deal with it better than others. And I was talking to Rio in Antalya, talking about how long he'd been on the road. You know, you're a long time away from home.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're constantly changing time zones, and you do get that jet lag, and it hurts your sleep. And it's amazing how well they perform. You know, considering Steve, when he got here, he actually came 2 days early, and he actually put half of his equipment, or one bow in one bow case, and actually took 2 bow cases, thinking, okay, if one gets lost, he'd be good.
Wow.
Well, they both didn't show up for 24 hours, so it didn't work out so well.
Yep. A long hold for Gellenthien, but a 10.
Yeah.
So the lead still 2 points.
Nine.
It's all right.
The wind's swirling just a little bit here too.
Back to 3 though.
Yep, that wind flag's just kind of spinning on the pole out there. You know, now coming to the archers, now off to the right, just constantly spinning.
Another 29 end for Steve Hansen. Brilliant shooting. Gellenthien just a little bit ahead. 9 for him there. So
it keeps it
2
within
points.
reach.
Yeah, absolutely. And only 3 arrows left in the match now, with a 2-point gap.
Yeah.
And the odd 9 for your opponent and a 10 for you is going to make it interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like close. Then you're like starting to feel it, like, oh no, I only have 1 to give now. So it's important for Steve to, again, continue to start strong and stay strong through this.
So Braden Gellenthien, who disposed of Pierre-Julien Deloche in the quarterfinals. Steve Hansen, who knocked out Andreas Darum of Denmark at the same stage, now head-to-head for a place in the final match of the afternoon here in the compound men's individual competition. Anderson with a 10. Great shot there, showing you how far away those targets are.
So now we're a point.
Yeah. Just as we said here, a 10 from Anderson would really make a difference to him, and there it is.
Good X. He didn't like that one very much, but he got it.
Yeah.
This arrow is real important, obviously.
So another 10 for Anderson.
So here you go.
So Gellenthien needs a 10 to take him into the final.
That was a quick shot.
And there it is.
Yep.
He didn't hang about. And Braden Gellenthien of the USA knocks out Pierre-Julien Deloche in the quarterfinals, and now he's knocked out his teammate and countryman Steve Anderson of the USA. Braden Gellenthien, thumbs up to the crowd. He's through, and he has another shot at the World Cup title.
Outstanding shooting by those guys. It's so strange when you have situations like that. It's like you're so happy and so sad at the same time, because you're so happy for the guy, you know, for the person who won, and you know, you really feel for the one who didn't.
Yeah, I mean, a very, very narrow victory. And you said, I think, 148 points looked like the most you were going to be able to shoot out here in these conditions and the pressure, and 147 was what Gellenthien ended up with winning the match, so not too far off.
They did USA Archery proud.
Yeah,
it was a great job. They were, you know, fantastic.
There he is, Braden Gellenthien, 6 times in World Cup finals, a medal every time. 5 years since.
Steve will have many more chances.
Victory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm guessing that he'll be in the crowd later and cheering Braden on, despite the fact he's probably going to end up paying for dinner later.
Yeah. Yes, I guarantee you he will be. In both cases, he'll be out there cheering, and he is definitely paying for dinner.
So we'll see Anderson again one more time as he shoots for bronze. Who will his opponent be, though? That's up to the result of the match that we've got in front of us, and the judge and coaches have taken the field.
The athletes of the field of play for the compound men's semi-final match number 2.
And here we go. So onto the field of play comes Stefan Hansen, the world #1, who took Federico Pagnoni out of the competition by 6 points in his quarterfinal match, and standing there looking confident.
Yeah, and he's really the only guy that shot this whole thing so far, and just seemed like he was, you know, practicing. He just looked so easygoing and just relaxed.
Now, you wouldn't say relaxed was the word
but you can
to use with Elmaagacli, but actually his determination gives him that stillness, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see the confidence in his walk. You know, he's definitely got it. I'm sure he's looking forward to this match.
Well, he's had the beating of Hansen this season. Beat him in the final stage in Berlin, and comfortably beat him too, actually. I think there was only 2 or 3 points in it in that match, but with 2 ends to go, he was just looked so solid that Hansen couldn't get near him.
Yeah, that's one that Stefan would like to definitely forget, and I'm sure he's thinking about that a little bit right now. You see what kind of momentum they bring to this match. Who's going to start out the strongest?
So Hansen back on target #1 again, where he was this morning for the mixed team and where he was this afternoon for his first individual match. So he'll be happy with that draw.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's a serious opening statement
It
from
sure is.
Elmaagacli.
15. 10, 9, 7. Bir ona eksik. Super, Stefan. Hadi kardeşim, vazgeçmek yok.
You know that song, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better?
Yeah.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
No, you can't. A 9 for Elmaagacli.
Yeah, I wish I could
15.
say that song is for me, or, you know, but I can't shoot like these guys do. They're just
Super.
phenomenal.
Eks til venstre.
Do you see the standard improving year after year?
I do, and the shooters are actually getting younger. The ones who are winning are getting younger and younger, and it's just amazing. You know, the scores that are being shot are just
Yes.
Do you think the younger archers now will go on to have long careers, or do you think that it's your 20s now that are the years where you have to do the most damage?
I think there's something to be. You can see the wind is shaking everything. There was a big gust that came through, and yet he put it right in the middle.
Yeah.
That was an outstanding shot, and that's why he's pretty happy about it. But I do think that is a good possibility, just because these young guys are just, man, just one after another. There's so many good, talented young shooters. I've never seen that many of them as I do today. So it's fun to watch. And again, as an archer, I can admire the skill level that these guys are displaying.
I think if you're not familiar with archery, it's the sort of sport that you can get into as a viewer, isn't it? Because the skill is evident, and watching it on TV, you can see the drama right up close too.
Yeah, that these head-to-head matches, and you can see it. It's if you're just standing there shooting a bunch of arrows, but you don't have a lot of room for error here. Not that many arrows.
Not at all. Elmaagacli 1 down on Hansen, a 9 for him.
That wind is still stronger than it was, but someone doesn't care.
Not at all. Turkish archer finds a 10 with that arrow.
He needed that one.
Hansen on the line.
Yeah, it should be a 9.
So Hansen with a slight let off, and he finds the 10. So he'll keep his 1 point lead, may even extend it to 2. We'll see if that 8's upgrade. I think it probably will be.
It should be. It looked pretty solid, actually. It looked like it was cutting through that line. But yeah, you can see it from there. That should be a 9.
So what would your advice be then if you're thinking about taking up archery and you're watching this at home somewhere and you're impressed by what you see? What would you say to people who are yet to pick up a bow?
Please do. It's a great sport. Any age, any ability, it's great for anybody that has any type of disability too. You can shoot. It does not matter. It's a sport where there's a huge family of people that'll help you. Just look for a dealer or a pro shop or somebody that can help you get started so you start the right way, and then just enjoy yourself. It's just a fantastic sport. It can take you all over the world, and if you get the bug like I did when I was young, it changes your life. Your life will evolve around it. It's just it's an amazing thing. Love the sport. Again, you look at somebody like Steve Anderson. He's really only been shooting about 5 years or so. So he didn't start until after he graduated from college. So
it's not one of those sports like gymnastics or whatever that unless you start when you're about 6, you've got no hope. You can pick it up.
Yeah, you can pick it up, and there's plenty of really, really good coaches out there to help you get started.
So another X for Hansen. 3 points now, and Elmaagacli, not how it was in Berlin for him. He's trying to hang on here now.
Yeah, because Stefan he's looking calmer and calmer, and now that you can see the wind just affecting his bow there, and yeah, that was difficult for him. He was just hoping that he'd get a break and he'd calm down enough for him to settle and get a good shot off, but that one cost him. And then again, Stefan, he's up there, he gets on it, and it's gone before the wind really has a chance to move him around too much.
Hadi aslanım.
He was shooting much quicker, the Turkish archer in his first match, wasn't he? And that he was confident then, and now he's thinking about it a bit more, isn't he?
Yeah, right now you can see it in his face and his body language. You saw how he walked out, and he was very confident. Right now, he just looks a little disappointed at this point, but he's still in it. He is still in it, but he's definitely doesn't have much room to miss the 10 ring now.
Yeah, I mean, Hansen 30, 29 and 30 with his first 3 ends.
And you can see he's confident and smiling and having a good time, and it's just, you can just see it in the body postures.
Bir tane hatasına bakar onu ya. Hadi. Biz buraya kazanmaya geldik aslan. Hadi.
So words of encouragement from the Turkish coach for Elmaagacli, who will shoot first again on target number 2, and he's got a 5-point lead to try to eat into with his last 6 arrows of this match. He will have been confident coming to Rome because of his performances across the season, but it's slipping away from him here, and he needs to step up and find some 10s pretty sharpish.
Yes.
Elmaagacli distante una vita
Not
It's
good
not
enough.
Yeah, it's not going to be what he needed there.
Hansen's going to have to give him some free points here, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
And that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No, I mean, when you look at the targets, look at his Stefan's last match and target, he just hammered the center, and he's doing it again here. He's just filling up the middle, and he's looking good.
He is, and it's a place in the final match against Gellenthien that awaits for whoever wins this match, and
there's a reason why he's #1 and world champion. So
finds the 10. The Turk, so 28 for him, 112. But Hansen really piling on the pressure now.
still 6 points there.
Yeah, so 6 points the lead, and 3 arrows left for each archer, and a smile on Hansen's face because he knows he's given himself a platform to turn this into a victory.
Yeah, barring something really crazy happening right now, he's looking good. He's in the driver's seat and really shouldn't be feeling all that much pressure. He should be feeling pretty confident, like, yep, I'm going to do a walk up here. I'm going to throw 3 more down in the middle and move on. I love that. That's a great slow motion right there.
I mean, he's a top-level international athlete, isn't he? But
He
what I
is.
love about him is he's got he's got a slightly sort of unkempt look about him, and the odd facial expression you see, it's like his mum's asking him to tidy his room or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean any disrespect by that.
No.
But he's such a teenager. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you can see there he's got his hat kind of sitting off on the side a little bit for sun, and make sure he's got some shade in his eyes for aiming and things. So,
8, 7, 6.
So, Elmaagacli,
boy, he really needed that one in the middle.
he certainly did, and
Well,
he's capable of it too.
yeah.
He can't find it.
Yeah, hope he finishes strong.
9 from Hansen. The lead's still 6.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's and when you got that, it's again, there's not much pressure anymore. You're just disappointed because you want perfection.
Much better,
Yeah.
but later than he needed. So Hansen on for a 147 finish. which is what Gellenthien shot in his match to win.
Put this one in the middle.
Yeah, strong finish now. Come on. And a 9. So anything on the target for Hansen.
Yeah, and that's good. You can just see it in his body, face. Yeah.
Down it goes. Not just anything. An X10.
Yeah.
Smashed the center of the target.
That was a super relaxed shot. It was just like he was in practice.
So Stefan Hansen does what's required of him. He's the world champion. He's the world games champion. He's the world #1. And he's taken a giant leap towards becoming the World Cup champion of 2017 here as well. Stefan Hansen into the final against Gellenthien, and it will be Elmaagacli versus Anderson for the bronze, and that's our next match.
Should be a good one. We'll have to see. You know, I'm sure the Demir is really disappointed right there, and we'll see if he can come back, you know, mentally and get back focused and making good shots. I expect Steve, because Steve, he didn't shoot poor in his match against Braden, but I expect him to come out here and be feeling pretty good. So it all comes down to the mindset.
So now then, with the benefit of having seen all those matches shot, when we looked at the brackets right at the beginning of the afternoon, the Gellenthien Hansen face-off for the title was there for the taking, wasn't it? And that's what we've ended up with.
Yeah, it really was. And there's two shooters that literally are so alike. You know, they both are aggressive shooters. They're both, you know, very accomplished. You know, Braden's a little bit more of a veteran, but this is going to be fun. They both feed off of emotion, and I'm expecting to see quite a bit of that in that match. But, you know, again, the first one here, you know, should be fun. Nobody wants to go home without a medal.
And we kind of saw that this morning with Sonicson, actually.
Yeah.
She had her eyes not unrealistically on the top spot here, and she didn't quite make it, and then she came out for the bronze medal match, and she couldn't shrug that off. I mean, Bostan took that bronze medal deservedly, but Sonicson was not in the right frame of mind, and that's going to be a big challenge for Elmaagacli now, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, if he's able to, you know, with this little break here, if he's able to just relax and just say, oh well, and get back up there and focus, you know, more power to him. But it's a very difficult thing to do sometimes when, you know, you get disappointed that you're not moving into the, you know, what your goal was, and that is to win this event. So, and he just didn't shoot really well. So, you know, is that going to affect him? Is he going to be thinking that? Is he going to be worried and trying too hard instead of just letting it happen? And we'll see. The wind's really blowing right now.
Yeah, and here we go. The compound men's individual bronze medal match. Straight back out onto the field with the Praetorian Guard either side of him. It's Demir Elmaagacli of Turkey. The crowd here now well acquainted with this young archer. They can see his steel, his determination. Unlucky to find Hansen in such imperious form in the semi-finals, and so he'll want to make amends for that in this bronze medal match and see if he can take home a medal here.
Yep. You know, and Steve gets to shoot on the same target that he shot in his last match, and you know, here he's got to move over. So, you know, we'll see. Sometimes, you know, again, your comfort zone, you were just here, everything's familiar, can be good, but maybe a little change in, you know, which side he's shooting on will help him kind of flush the memories of the last match for Demir.
He's going to need to do that. That match is gone and in the past, and he has to focus now, because this guy is a formidable opponent. Quite easily it could have been him in the final, but he's shooting for bronze here. Steve Anderson, what a season he's had. ranked number 4 in the world there, as you can see. 9.8 arrow average and converting 64% of his matches into wins. He'll be looking to get that up beyond the 70% mark next season as he improves and grows as an archer with his experience, but he's already a formidable force.
Yes, he is. Not just his stature, but I mean his, gosh, he's got talent.
Probably doesn't regret leaving the 400 meters behind, does he?
Well, he played basketball and 400 meters. And he's a heck of an athlete. Really, really good. That's yeah. It's just kind of like up, yep, okay, boom, just strong, fantastic shot to start. Let's see if he can match it here.
7.
Yeah, good start. Nice.
Low 8 for the Turkish archer.
Yeah, he was at full draw a long time there. Just lost it at the end. No, Steve knew it. Yeah, when he turns and starts walking off even before the arrow hits, yeah, that's good. He had a famous shoot-off arrow at the Reading Trail Shoot this year in California where he did just that, and it was just a phenomenal shot, 88-yard shot. And he just drilled it, but he just turned around and called it before the arrow ever hit, and the crowd went crazy. It was incredible. But he just knew it. His confidence is like, yeah, that's good.
So 3 points already for Anderson in his pursuit of 3rd place here, which would be a brilliant end to his World Cup season and a great platform for the World Championships in Mexico as well.
Absolutely.
Leaning on his boat very nonchalantly. That's not what you want, is it? Already 3 behind after 3 arrows if you're serious about winning the match. So this is a real test. And he's equal to it, but
he really needs to shoot a 30 here.
Yeah.
He needs a 30. That's a good start. Good X right in the middle.
There's an 8 from Anderson.
And just like that, it's 1 point.
Sağlam tut sol kolunu. Emin olduğunda. Vazgeçme. 8, 7.
See how this changes things mentally. Again, it can happen so fast.
Yeah, Anderson needs to find the gold here.
And the wind is
another long hold for him.
Yeah, it's getting blown around a little bit there.
Yeah, so scores are tied. So that 3-point lead is gone.
Amazing how quickly it happens.
Oh, that's 10.
He did exactly what he needed. He needed that 30. And he's got his confidence back. Steve really needs this 10 here.
He's twitching a tiny bit, isn't he? You can see that.
Long.
9 for him. So that's a 4-point swing right there.
Yeah. Well, there you go. What we were talking about before, you don't think a big swing can happen, but it can. It's still early, but yeah, what a change.
Well, we hope you're enjoying the archery if you're watching back home on the internet or on TV. We're very glad that you've been able to join us, and it's certainly been a pleasure to commentate on these arrows today, and just the standard of archery, Rod, has been sky high.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And again, these targets aren't that big. You know, that 10 ring is small, and you're shooting it at 50 meters, 55 yards. It's with crowd, with speakers, people yelling their score, the clock counting down. You know, he got it all, and this is not easy to do, and sometimes these guys make it look easy. And girls. So now it's on the other foot. Steve really needs to come out with a 30.
Yeah. And he's capable of it. He's shown it so far
it's interesting,
today.
his wife just threw him something, and he's putting something on his bow, or tightening something, an Allen wrench.
8, 7, 6,
Interesting. He had to make
Yes. A little.
a quick adjustment there.
Nine for Anderson.
Just wonder if that threw him a little bit, because she had to throw him, look like an Allen wrench, and tighten up, like maybe a stabilizer or something came loose, and he had to quick tighten it up. And he threw it back to her, and off it goes.
Complex machinery, these compound bows, aren't they? They give you a lot of stability and a lot of
Sometimes.
accuracy, but there's a lot of bits to go wrong.
Exactly. Well, we could be tied up here again now. So.
Well, Anderson doing all he can. 29.
Yeah.
Good
A little more
shooting,
emotion
especially
on
with
that
that little distraction midway. So
yeah, he's back there working on it again right now. So yeah, so his bottom stabilizer came loose a little bit. So
10 for the Turkish archer. So the scores are tied, but the first Turkish arrow there looking like it was on the line, so could be upgraded, and that would give him a 1-point advantage. We'll wait to see if that's confirmed or not. So you can see there the shot of the piece of equipment that Anderson had to tighten up midway through that end. Didn't harm him too much, only dropped a point, but it will have been on his mind, and you want to have confidence in your equipment at all times.
Yeah, you're flustered as you kind of quickly try, and you know you don't have a long time to do that, and you might not be exactly in the same position again, which can change how your bow performs a little bit. So, you know. But it's awful nice having someone like your wife back there who knew instantly what he needed, where it was, threw it to him. He was able to get it done in 15 seconds or so and get back in the game.
There you go. I'm not sure whether I want my wife coaching me. I certainly wouldn't get that much sympathy if I messed up.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mrs. George, if you're listening.
Nice.
2 10s for Anderson, 105 for him.
And it's keeping the pressure on.
9, 8.
And we're tied again. Wow, the up and down. This is it's incredible. It's nerve-wracking.
9.
Loose one.
Yeah.
Anderson, he's not found.
No groove. He hasn't found a groove.
He hasn't. I mean, he opened up with three 10s, but since then it's just he hasn't quite hooked it up, has he?
No. Not
Fortunately
like
for Anderson, neither has Elmaagacli,
but he's taking a 1-point lead.
he's
going
got
on
the
last.
1-point lead now, and edging closer to that 3rd place. 2015 World Cup champion, the Turkish archer at 26, 3 years younger than Anderson, but more experienced on this world stage. And as a former World Cup champion, he knows what it takes to lock down these medal-type matches, and He's got just a point ahead now, and that might be all it takes.
Yeah, shoot a 30 here, it's done. And Steve knows he needs to shoot a 30. So you're sitting back here watching this stuff is so much more nerve-wracking than even being up there shooting. I guarantee you for his wife, she's just like, you know, and oof, it's the way it is here.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, Rod is at full draw at all times, shooting every single arrow that Hansen's got.
Salma.
Nine. Wow, there you go.
So now we'll see if Steve takes advantage and holds to 30.
He's got to do that,
To
really.
get to a shoot-off if he throws 2 10s in there. That was a really nice shot by Steve. He really had beautiful timing right there, and just had the look about him like, yeah, this was going in. There was no doubt.
Giving.
And you can really see on his bow here, he's got a little bit more waver going on, but the wind has kind of switched again.
Long hold again.
So now Steve knows he just needs this 10, and
that would be something, wouldn't it? Because he's been behind for a couple of ends.
Yeah, a couple of ends. You can see a little bit right there.
Yeah.
He's trying to wait out that wind a little bit, but you only have so much time. It can be really, really
Linda will be
difficult.
calling the remaining seconds for him.
I tell you what, he's going to be happy with a 9. That
right
was,
on the buzzer.
Yeah, and here we need a 10.
Yeah, and that's pressure.
10 for...
10 to stay in it, 10 to force the shoot off. Oh, it's a 9 for
Steve wins.
Elmaagacli, the 2015 World Cup champion, ends this competition in Rome, and he walks away in 4th place, and a kiss and an embrace for the big cat Steve Anderson from the USA, who takes 3rd place here at the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup. That's it, just breathe.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's okay.
That's good.
Oh no, you've got another one coming up in a minute. Good strong arm then from Mr. Anderson. He's pleased with that result. I mean, what would that mean to him? What are you going to say to him when you see him later on at dinner, Rod?
You're killing me, Smalls. I may make him buy.
Yeah.
That was a great match, though. For anybody who loves archery back and forth like that, that was a great match. Fun to watch.
Let's just enjoy some of these slow-mo shots here, telling the tale.
Some of these guys need a razor. You know, these up close. It's like, why?
Yeah. Fairly clean cut, that one.
Yeah. Looking good. Good match.
Yeah. You feel for
I do.
the Turkish guy.
Yes.
He just, I mean, he gave it everything he had, and it's been a long old season of World Cup matches. You've been all around the world, as you said, Rod. So
yeah, you can feel anytime someone loses a match like that. Again, it's a mixed emotions of you can. It's like that in sport. That's what makes it so great. There is triumph and tragedy in every event. Somebody wins, somebody loses, and if you're a competitor and that's what gets your juices flowing, that's what you look forward to.
So the last action of the day, and a return to the field of play for the 22-year-old world #1 and world champion Stefan Hansen, walking out here into the arena at the Estadio del Marmi in Rome for the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup. And he places his bow and his replacement in the corner by his coach. He knows he is just one match away from an amazing end to his World Cup season. Stefan Hansen of Denmark.
And guys. Target 1. He has looked so good. No cracks. You know, one end, one arrow really. Outside of that, he's looked good.
But if anybody's got the game to take it to Hansen, for the same kind of reasons, the determination and the ability in these kinds of scenarios, it's this guy who's just walking out onto the field of play as he hands his sunglasses to his father, his coach, and turns to take the acknowledgement of the crowd on target number 2. Ranked number 5 in the world this year, representing the United States, Braden Gellenthien.
Yeah, and again, he's been working really, really hard to get to this point, so I expect him to shoot well. Both of these guys.
And Andres Hegedus, as he has been all afternoon, taking charge of this one. And he'll indicate target number 2 to shoot first for Gellenthien. Will he like to shoot first, Rod?
You know what, that never really bothered me. I didn't really have a preference. Most archers prefer to shoot first. Okay. They feel that if you put the one in the middle, then automatically you already have pressure on your competitor. But these guys, sometimes it's like they almost like to know what they need to do. So shooting second is really not going to bother anybody. That's a good start right there.
For sure.
That's what you want to do in a gold medal match. It's a long shot for Stefan. Almost the same spot. Outstanding.
Femten. 10. Lavt til venstre. Så midt i stregen.
All 10 so far. And yet another. Look at that group.
Yeah, and again, you shoot it and you're walking off knowing that it has no other place to go but the middle. Free. And there you go. Yes, folks, we are in the gold medal match. 30-30.
Just to give you some comparisons between these two archers, Hansen won just about everything there is to win already at 22. But Gellenthien, 38 World Cup appearances, 45 World Cup stage medals, 26 of them gold, 13 silver, 6 bronze.
Yeah.
He's had to repair his trophy cabinet several times.
I don't know what else you can say about that. I mean, what an incredible champion.
You're in sort of Michael Phelps territory there, aren't you?
You are in this sport, and it's that's a room full of stuff. Let me tell you, impressive.
He's probably got a bunch of watches as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he could probably open a store.
Down it goes, another 10 for Gellenthien.
He's
Can
laughing
he hear
at
us?
that one.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, middle.
This is so great to watch.
It's like what you can do, I can do better. Unbelievable. One after another. Man.
So Hansen with a 149 against Pagnoni in the quarterfinals is the top scorer so far today. Only dropping a point in that match. Gellenthien's highest score, 147 in that last round against Anderson.
The first 9 of the match, just a little high there. Man. 60-59. It's good stuff.
aber ein letztes Start. Dann wird langsam.
Stefan's just a little more serious on this match. In the last one, he was always laughing and joking as he walked back and looked so easy. Right now, though, he is focused. You know, and Braden's just, yeah, having a good time.
He's trying to relax himself.
Exactly. Yep.
He's probably trying to relax his dad a little bit as well.
Maybe. Like I said, it's hard to watch. So
yeah.
you just wish you could take control.
Yeah.
And he's still thinking, still thinking about it a little bit, but right here is when it leaves his mind. Now he's totally forgot.
You can see it in his body too, can't you? Just that little pace forward, and he's entered an entirely different zone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
A point behind. That won't worry him at this stage, not if he keeps sending those kind of shots down.
Yeah.
Everything in the 10 so far for Hansen.
And the rhythm that these guys are shooting at, the pace is just like, just letting it go. Gee whiz. This is a match.
Steps away almost before the arrow was away there. Still a 10.
He stayed perfect.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, a little bit of gust. You saw that quick bobble of his arm, and the release broke right at that time, and off the arrow went. Yeah, you can see.
He had a shot like that in the previous round that he rescued, almost bent the arrow around the corner to still stay in the 10, didn't he, Hansen? Like a golf shot almost, but but it didn't work out for him so well that time.
No, and again, that's just the timing of the wind. Sometimes you draw back and the wind is calm, and sometimes you draw back and it bites you.
So this is a turning point, potentially, in the match for Hansen. He doesn't have too many bad shots, and what he comes back with now will be really, really important for himself, and also for Gellenthien to take notice of whether there's a little gap there or whether he's back on form.
Yeah, and here, if Braden can get to his shot again, just that aggressive, quick shot. We'll see if he can take advantage of it, but that was a nice shot.
Super.
It's heavyweight stuff.
These guys are just going and going and going. Look at that. And you see the rhythm. Anybody who's watching and aspires to become a champion, you just watch the rhythm of these guys and the confidence. They're shooting their shot right now. That is what you're seeing. Is they're not overly concerned about anything, and they're just literally trying to execute a great shot. It's fun to watch.
Hansen with a 9, so Gellenthien a 10 will give him a 2-point advantage.
And again, he knew it, and he just turned around and was like, "Yep, that's in the middle." Phenomenal group. Well, that is interesting. I mean, it's not that big of a gap, but pressure's on here for sure.
3 X's for Gellenthien with his last 3 arrows, 5 with his last 6. There's momentum there, isn't there? Whereas Hansen an 8 in one of his last ends, a 9 in this last one. There's a little stutter there, isn't there?
Exactly.
And, gosh, this could be 3 arrows between Braden Gellenthien and another world title.
Yep. Braden knows he's got an arrow to play with, and that's pretty powerful when you only have 3 to go. And Stefan knows that he really has to put 3 of them in the middle here.
Yep.
That's a good start. He just looked at his face. He's like, yeah, okay. That's just amazing.
Hansen
Ooh,
catches the
close.
line, but
I
he's
don't know.
mashed that target face up so much you can't
Yeah, I don't
call
know.
that really. But nothing unsecure about that one.
No. Yeah.
So
You're gonna, if he puts this next one in a 10, you're gonna hear a loud scream.
So a 9 for Hansen and 8 to win.
There you go.
Look at that. He's done it. What a result for one of the most decorated archers of all time. This is his 6th World Cup final appearance. He's taken a medal in every single one. He was the champion 5 years ago in Tokyo, and now he's back on top again. Braden Gellenthien is the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup champion.
Outstanding. Congratulations, Braden.
Yeah, well done. That's something else, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's a great performance. That's a great performance.
That really was. It really was.
And just as we saw with Lopez this morning, just a hint of a release now, just that emotion coming back now to him. He's kept it pent up inside in order to concentrate, but
And it's just released, you know. And as again, we saw Steve was up there cheering, and the team was coming down to meet him after he walks off to congratulate him. So it's great.
Credit where it's due as well, Rod. 148, you were saying, was a winning score, and there it goes.
Phenomenal shooting. That was fun.
Yeah, and a pleasure to watch, and a great thing to commentate on. And you won't see too many better compound individual archery finals than that.
No, two guys so evenly matched, and gosh, great champions.
Yeah, I mean, Hansen will be shaking his head at a couple of the loose shots that he had in that match, and that was really the difference. But at 22, he's got many more years ahead of him to chalk up the same kind of international record that Gellenthien has won hard over many years.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not going away, and he's gonna win so many medals that he too will be able to open up a watch shop pretty soon. What a great venue.
Yeah, you kind of fancy that some of those statues could just get up and walk down the stairs and come and shake you firmly by the hand, don't you? It is a really amazing venue.
It is.
The Estadio del Marmi here, right in the centre of Rome, next door to the football stadium where Lazio and Roma share their home matches, and all the passion of the Italian capital city coming out on the field of play here with some fantastic matches here this morning and this afternoon.
Yeah, we get more to tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be outstanding tomorrow.
Well, you're very welcome back in my shop tomorrow if you want to come and share some of that. But I know you've got other duties to perform. But it's been something else, and
I've enjoyed it.
Seeing that shot again of the two of them embracing on the line.
Yeah, like I said, they shoot against each other so often. Both in, Stefan comes to the States a lot and shoots a lot of our events, and again, they're all friends. Everybody here is a friend. They all get along, and it's just a great sport.
So we'll have the compound men's individual ceremony to follow very shortly.
The victory ceremony for the Longines Prize of Precision.
But first, we'll have the Longines Prize for Precision. And
No
to go
surprise.
with his mixed team title, won earlier today, and also the second place that he's just earned. Stefan Hansen there will claim the watch for being the most accurate archer and the highest number of 10s in the competition. Luca Ricciardi there in the blue jacket, the Longines Italy account manager, will present the watch.
Representing Denmark, il vincitore del Precision Prize per il compound maschile della finale di Roma per la Danimarca, Stefan Hansen.
Congratulations to Stefan Hansen.
Yeah, he's consistent, always in it. Great watch. I know I value mine quite a bit in the World Championship.
Nice bonus for Hansen.
Yes.
And as you say, well deserved. Such an accurate shooter over the course of the competition. 4 international stages, starting in Shanghai in May. A long old run from Antalya through Salt Lake City and Berlin to here in Rome.
Well, and usually this is the time of the year now. This event is over for those guys. They can kind of relax a little bit before indoor season really gets going, but they can't this time.
Yeah.
You know, World Championships are coming, so they will get right back at it and start working real hard because there's a World Championship to be claimed.
Anche il mixettino, ok, dovete chiamare voi, no? Cioè, per la rider, voi dovete cercare la mia.
And all of these archers, you'll see, again, if you watch the World Championships in Mexico, and there'll be some archers now using this as a platform to move on to great things in the World Championships, and there'll be 1 or 2, Sonicson perhaps, in the women's competition, who'll want to emerge from something from Mexico, having been disappointed here in Rome, certainly in the individual competition.
Yeah, for quite a few of them, I mean, they take this and use it as their drive over the next few weeks of practice to just make sure that they are ready for the World Championship to, I guess you'd say, revenge, right?
Well,
but
you
that's
could
what
do.
it is.
You could do.
Yeah.
So the US team, you'll be heading home pretty swiftly after this, and then trying to settle before the World Champs.
Correct. Yeah.
And do you have a kind of training camp ready in Mexico to take them to, or
no? To be honest, they'll be practicing at home again. It's not that long of a flight for us, so they'll be ready to go. I expect good things from them. We got a very talented team going there, and it's I think they're going to have a great time, and we're going to see some really good results from it. But they're getting harder and harder. The competition is so good, and the talent level throughout the world is just spectacular. So it truly can be anybody's game, anybody that makes it there. That's why when you see these guys consistently in these finals and winning these medals, it's that much more impressive.
So the presentation ceremony for the compound men's individual category. Roberto Frabbicini, the Italian Olympic Committee Secretary General, will present the checks and the trophies, and the gifts and the watch for the winner will be presented by Fitarco First Vice President Paolo Pordiche.
I see Steve's first place check, so he does have money now for dinner. He can't use that excuse on me tonight.
It's tough to get a check that size over the counter, I would have thought.
Yeah, he could give it to me, and
you'll take care of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Yeah.
Third place for Steve Anderson, 5,000 Swiss francs. That'll buy a lot of hamburgers.
Yeah, maybe a steak too.
Why not? I mean, you know.
Good bottle of wine.
Yeah.
He doesn't know this yet, but I'll make sure I tell him immediately when we're done here.
Well, if you just want to tip me off where you're going for dinner this evening, or you know, if there's an extra seat at the table, that'd be very jolly.
Yeah.
Stefan Hansen, world #1, but second best here today. Gave as good as he had, I think. I don't think he left anything out there really, but just not quite enough this time, and that's how it goes sometimes.
It is.
Second place, 10,000 Swiss francs.
And he shot well here the whole time. He should be proud. I know he's going to be disappointed, but he should be really proud. And such a great champion, and again, #1 ranked. It's amazing to be #1 ranked.
Gold medal, representing the United States of America.
So our winner and World Cup champion for a second time. Took the title in Tokyo in 2012, and he's taken it again here in Rome.
Yes.
An emotional win for Braden Gellenthien. 20,000 Swiss francs in his back pocket.
You know what? If Steve is smart, we might be able to actually convince him to buy tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's
20,000 Swiss francs.
I mean, that would probably buy you an upgrade to business, wouldn't it, on the way home?
Yeah, but he won't do that for us. He'll just laugh at us back in coach.
And it's not always about the money, of
No,
course.
it
And
isn't.
you know, he's got his hands on that
No.
wonderful World Cup trophy that so many others have held in the past.
Yeah.
And he is one of the greats, Braden Gellenthien.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You know what a lot of this is what's going to happen here shortly is when you get the country's national anthem, that is some powerful stuff. Yeah, I know I've been on that podium, but this moment right here, all the checks and everything are great. Trust me, he's going to love all that, but this is it. I got to stand for this one.
Please give a warm round of applause for our athlete.
A marvellous and a famous victory for Braden Gellenthien of the USA. Congratulations to him and to all the archers who made it through to these finals, particularly these three, but especially our World Cup champion. What a day we've had here in the Estadio Delamami in Rome. Our compound 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup champions have been crowned. In the mixed team event, Denmark confirmed their dominance and took the title for a third year in a row. In the women's individual event, an emotional Sara Lopez made it 3 World Cup wins in 4 appearances. And in the men's individual event, you've just seen Braden Gellenthien end a 5-year wait for a second World Cup title. Tomorrow, we'll do it all again with the recurve archers, including athletes from the USA, France, Korea, and the host nation, Italy. Thank you for joining Rod Menzer and me this afternoon. Rod, thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you to all the
Thank you
athletes
to
for
viewers
participating
watching online across the world at worldarchery.org and on the Olympic Channel too. Remember to follow at World Archery on Twitter for all the latest stories and updates. You've been watching live coverage of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup Finals in Rome. We're back on the air tomorrow at 11 a.m. local time for the recurve event. Join us then if you can. From now, for me, it's bye-bye.
da parte degli organizzatori a tutti i volontari che hanno e stanno lavorando davvero solo per questo evento. Un ringraziamento anche a tutti voi del pubblico e ovviamente non mancate l'appuntamento di domani con l'arco ricurvo, la disciplina olimpica. Ci rivediamo qui allo Stadio dei Marmi domattina alle 11 per la finale della Coppa del Mondo Hyundai Roma 2017.
Is someone listening? Okay. Let me tell you the story of that guy. First he loved,
Camera or stay? He motioned me to move.